welcome back to our channel. Today's gonna be one of those videos I wish someone would have handed to me months ago. Not some clinical article, not a pamphlet about here's what can happen, but the real, messy, honest truth about what happens after you lose a baby. Emotionally, physically, and spiritually as a woman and as a mother. If you are currently going through this or just recently experienced this, I want you to feel seen in every part of this video. Now, let's kick off this video by talking about the emotional landscape that people don't warn you about. You know what honestly blindsided me the most was, it wasn't just the sadness, because we hear miscarriage and we automatically are like, oh, that's so sad. But it's totally the unpredictability of the sadness. Not the 1 minute I'm fine, the next I'm crying in Target. We've talked about that. This type of sadness is different. It's the way that joy and grief coexist in my heart right next to each other in my chest. It's like you can genuinely be truly happy for someone 1 second and then completely feel shattered by your own reality the next. I feel like something that a lot of people shy away from talking about is when this is something you experience and you're going through, every pregnancy announcement that ends up coming out, that's amazing. And we know we are so happy for those individuals, but it is heartbreaking, it is earth-shattering, it is so painful, and it's not a jealousy thing. That is the grief talking. That's the version of your heart saying, that should have been me. That should have been us and our family. I should be celebrating this right now too. I can personally say that right before we were about to announce, I swear it was like, because we were an April 26th due date, actually, we probably would have ended up with 2 April 5th babies, which is crazy. But right when we were about to announce, I swear we went through our loss, and then immediately there was like 15 announcements of April babies. And don't get me wrong, I am genuinely excited for all of the April babies and all the May babies, all the babies to come. It is such a blessing, but no one talks about the other side of things whenever you're on the side of loss and that should have been you, and how deeply it cuts. Instead, you're like trying to smile through and power through, trying to be that really supportive friend while your own world has just feel like it's been cracked open. And I don't feel like a lot of people talk about that double life that you're living. Nobody is saying that, you know, you're feeling guilty for hurting and you feel guilty when you're happy. It's almost kind of like grief keeps rewriting your emotional rules without your permission. Now let's talk about the physical reality and kind of the part where some doctors just skip right over. Something else that I wish my doctors or more doctors would share on and literally say out loud to the patient, your body doesn't just bounce right back because society expects it to. I need everyone to think about this for a second. You, including myself, we have just built a life for weeks, in my case months. Our bodies have built that life, and then our bodies carry death. That completely changes you on a level that some people never have to even think about. The swelling, the bloating, the hormones, the way your clothes completely fit differently because you're in that in-between of having just like as my kid would call it, a jiggly belly versus having the actual tight fit bump that pops. Kids are really humbling, by the way. It's the way that your body feels so foreign for a while that I wish the doctor could have prepared me for. And it's not even like a getting back to normal. It's learning a completely new normal while grieving the old version of you, the old body, the old physical shell that you had. It's not there anymore. And that is so normal, and I wish someone would have told me that, and I wish more people would talk about the physical aspect of it. It's not weakness, it's not failure, it's truly the weight of what you've survived. No one prepares you for how miscarriages change the way that you mother the kids that you do have earthside. I swear this completely shifted something in me. I hug them tighter, I hug them longer, I stare at them longer, I hear their little voices so much differently. But it has also made motherhood heavier some days, especially being a homeschool mom, because I have realized that I am pouring from a cup that has been cracked. There's going to be times where you are trying to be present while your mind keeps revisiting the timeline that you could have had and what things were supposed to be. And I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, so go back and check that out if you haven't already. I'll link it up here somewhere. You're gonna have those tough days, you know, right now, and being in the seasonal aspect. Actually, at the time of filming this video, we are supposed to be halfway through our pregnancy. We were going to be celebrating 20 weeks and potentially finding out the gender of our baby. And there are so many times over the last few months where it's like I have felt so guilty for needing my own space and protecting my own boundaries from people that I do love, you know? Guilty for wanting quiet, guilty for wanting couple hours just to myself or a quiet bath to myself. You feel guilty for not being the version of you that you were before. But here is what I have confidently learned and that I would love to share with you guys for you to implement and hear from someone who is going through something that you have or that you might face. You do not have to pretend to be unbroken to be a good mom. Your children do not need you to be perfect. They truly just need you. Even the healing, tender, very vulnerable, just all around softer version of you. That is all they need. Now I want to talk about the part that nobody sees and what grief can actually look like. There's a part of miscarriages that lives in the quiet moments. And by this, I mean when you're in the shower, when you're sitting in the car, in the middle of the night, whenever you wake up for a random pee break, when you see something and come across something baby related that you've tucked away thinking you wouldn't go there. The world only sees the surface. Smiles, your day-to-day, how you show up to work, how you show up in your content, but grief lives in those very quiet moments, in those deep, intense seconds that freeze you when something reminds you, in the moments that nobody else sees, and in your prayers that nobody else hears. And now let's talk about leaning in and healing in the most unlinear way possible. It's not linear. Healing is not linear, period. And sometimes I still have to remind myself to not expect that. Some days I feel really steady and headstrong, especially whenever I'm wrapped up in putting out content. And then I have some days where it feels like I am completely starting over and I'm reliving everything. It feels like learning how to breathe again, stepping into a new version of yourself, learning how to love the new body that you have that has carried me through one of the worst chapters of my life. And if you are here right now, healing, surviving, and trying, I just want you to know that you're not behind. You are not failing. You are simply rebuilding for the best chapter that is yet to come. So if you are someone who is going through these motions right now, I hope there was at least one sentence in this entire video that has helped you feel a little bit more understood. You are not alone. You're not broken. You are not behind. If you feel like this video has held your heart even a little bit, please make sure you're subscribed. I am sharing this season of our life in complete real time. The healing, the hope, the messiness, the fears, everything in between. And I would love to walk through it with you too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!